Hello?
1975. It would last for 15 years until 1990. Ba'athist Syria would invade Lebanon in 1976
Hello?
and then spend
Hello?
years attempting to integrate and annex the
Hello?
country
Yes.
directly into Syria, based on the separation that the French had done with their map-making after Sykes-Picot. Israel would also
Okay.
invade Lebanon in their attempt to fight against Palestinian forces there and secure the safety of their northern border, leading
Great.
to
Thank you so
horrendous
much. I
Israeli and
appreciate it.
Syrian fighting in the country as well. The Israeli
Thanks. You too.
occupation in Lebanon would only end in 2000, while the Syrian occupation only ended in 2005. In retaliation for their worsening relationship with Syria,
Okay.
Israel unilaterally declared to annex the occupied territories of East Jerusalem in 1980 and the Syrian Golan Heights in 1985, setting it on the path of a permanent territorial dispute with Syria that lasts into the present day, as each side ever since has claimed that the Golan Heights is a core part of their neighborhood.
Hello? Hey guys. Nothing. Who wants to come to New York? Oh, Tommy didn't tell you? You can't hear me. That's weird. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Someone want to stream what you're doing to me? No. Bad. Oh, I thought we were talking about the real criminals. I thought you meant you wanted to go to Wall Street. No, I know. That was a dumb joke. I got my fiber internet. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's why I did it. If I hadn't... Yeah. And it's the same price, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, the upload speed isn't even close. I can stream in 4K. I'm sorry, what did you say, Calvin? Hell yeah, bro. Maybe an ambush. Is Glenn Greenwald gay? Who is Glenn Greenwald? I don't know who he is either. I hear his name all the time. He's some finance guy. He adopted the lightest skinned black kids that I've ever seen, and that seems like a cop-out. This guy was like, you know what? I'm racist. I think black people are dumber than white, so I'm going to find black people that are 90%. Let's get some one-drop rule in this bitch, so we'll still get the clout for them being black, because neoliberals don't tell the difference. They think that they play that woke one drop rule. I gotta remember I'm streaming. I mean, this is fine, but repeal the 19th Amendment. Just trust me. Unfortunately, it is. It's a mistake. Reinstate monarchy. You know, unironically, I agree with you. Because, well, no, it's that the sword out of the lake. That's a metaphor story, which, like, these metaphor stories, they would, with monarchy, they would, like, have the stories and myths and traditions of how they decide which ruler to rule. And, you know, the line of descent, or the line for the king or queen, was like, it wasn't really that set in stone. So those types of things were guiding principles with how the other powers in a monarchy, which was never really absolute, would choose the next leader, and how monarchy was able to work successfully in a lot of times. So yeah, women finding swords in lakes is actually, you know, part of choosing a good leader. Right. Distributing swords. Right. But there's a metaphor in that story. I'm not sure what that metaphor is, but yes, the strange woman in the lake distributing the sword. I mean, it possibly has something to do with matriarchal input in the leadership. Maybe not, but what's that? I mean, the strange woman in the lake decides who the monarch is, so that's kind of a big deal, huh? There's also England is very interesting as they're the major country in Europe that had the most female monarchs by far, and extraordinarily successful female monarchs as well. Elizabeth the First, not Lizzie that's in the box, but Elizabeth the First is my favorite. Well, she is in a box, yes, but I wouldn't insult Elizabeth the First like I would Elizabeth the Second, because Elizabeth the First was fantastic. I mean, she was great. She was absolute model for a queen or a monarch in general. Although she was able to do certain things as a woman that the other ones couldn't. England always had success with female monarchs, some male ones, but most of their best are women, and it's not that's the only place where that's true, really. Major country in Europe. Oh my god. Oh no, no, I'm familiar with the bit too. Yeah. Yep. It's because I no longer agree with democracy. Oh, I actually don't know anything about that. I'll let me just Google that real quick. Oh, wait, the one that was the Queen of France? Or Jadwiga, Jadwiga. Okay. Yeah, she's Hungarian. I wanted to say a meme, but I can't because I'm white. I identify as a saltine American. Gee dang it. Gee dang it. Fucking. Man, I should join this Japanese server on BattleBit and start speaking like fake Japanese. Oh, yes, most honorable. Oshizayawasamasu. Kawasaki. Is that racist? They wouldn't care. Japanese people aren't sensitive like the American whites. Komasama. Hey guys, can I run an idea by you real quick? So me and two veterans, we wanted to start a veterans podcast, but the two other guys we picked aren't veterans. Is it wrong for us to call the podcast the Three-Fifths Compromise? This is not a joke. I wasn't asking you, Whitey. Tommy, is it wrong for us to call the podcast the Three-Fifths Compromise? We probably won't because it doesn't really speak to what the podcast is, but that was a funny thought I had, and maybe I'll use that as a stand-up joke. I've been writing stand-up jokes. I'm going to try and go on Kill Tony. Oops. Yo, this guy's right here. Oh, never mind. I got him. There's some dudes. Well, I know some of them, and they have a podcast called Tower Gang, which is like a super hyper offensive podcast. It's not really my thing personally. They to give you an idea, they do their live shows starting at 9:11 p.m., which I think is hilarious. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. But like if I were starting something like that, which I'm not, then I would definitely call it like and the other stuff was the same, I would definitely call it that. Oh, Travis. Hi Travis. Have I talked to you before? Let me I'm going to bail out of here, guys. I'm about to do a live thing. Sorry, I didn't realize anyone was in here. Travis, if you like Kill Tony, I am going to their New Year's Eve show. I'm not going to try to do stand up there because that would be terrifying. It's like a massive theater. That's a little bit too much for my first time. I'm just going to. Wait, is this not working? It's supposed to be streaming the. Oh, that ain't right. What's brutal? They're brutal on Kill Tony. Yeah, dude. Seriously, I got a few ideas. I don't know if you know Adam Nutter, but I've been writing jokes and sending them to Adam Nutter for him to critique. Basically, he's a friend of mine. I look like young you. Well, that's good depending on what you look like now. You know? I saw this little baby. I was sitting next to a baby on the airplane yesterday that looked just like I did when I was a baby, like blue eyes and really white hair. It's weird. Travis, are you in the Discord? Yeah, I gotta get a haircut. Oh, you're not. Okay. How'd you even? Oh, do you just follow me on YouTube then? Like I'm just trying to figure out how people find me because. Oh, okay. So have you been watching the podcast on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify? I'm sorry for these questions. I'm just, I'm in early stages of this and I'm trying to figure out the best way to reach listeners and where people are finding me and all that type of shit. So I'd appreciate it. But if you don't want to answer all my questions, that's okay too. Oh, okay. Sweet. I knew I had some just specific to YouTube listeners. I got to upload the episode 36 to YouTube, and I got to do better about the other episodes. I'm not really formatting them well. But there are enough people on YouTube. I'm actually going to be going a little bit more YouTube forward as we go because I'm working with a childhood friend of mine who's a videographer, and he's going to do some editing for me and everything, which is nice. If you would like to join the discussion, the Discord link is down below. If not, that's cool too, but that's always there. I'm always talking to people on there. What they want. Oh, Claymore. Oh my god. What's going on here? Yeah, have you played this game? I've been playing it a lot with my friends recently. If you, depending on, I've probably mentioned that I spend an hour or two a night playing with my friends from high school on Discord. I really love that time of the day. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this. I've actually been playing more video games than I normally do because of how much I like this game. And for years, I've only played like strategy games like Europa Universalis and like Civilization. Well, not even Civilization, but like Total War and stuff. So it's weird to get back into these. Yeah, it is cool. It is cool. If you ever played first person shooters, I mean, this would be a fun thing to do. I enjoy it most when I'm playing with my friends. Yeah, I kind of just have the two hobbies. Spend a lot of time doing work, and then I garden and play video games as a hobby, and that's kind of it. I don't really do anything else besides work and garden and play video games, and I am very happy with that. What time is it? 7:45. Okay. How many of the episodes have you seen? Have you got any favorites or anything? What the? Oh man, that sucks. No skill. Oh, all right, cool. Well, this is going to be a little bit different than my other stuff. The podcast is most of the is the best content. This is just, I mean, this isn't even something I do normally. I'm just trying out different formats, but I'll be taking the whole isidewith.com quiz. Hopefully someone joins us. Just a few minutes here. Oh my god, yeah, 007. I played that when I was a little kid. And um my niece and my brother-in-law, they started playing it. They got it on the Nintendo Switch. So when I go visit them, I've been playing 007 with my 14-year-old niece. It's been so weird. I'm so glad that she likes the game. She plays Fortnite too. That's what she likes. Freaking Fortnite. But I like that. Honestly, I prefer her playing on the console. It's way better than them being just on the phone. It's crazy that that's how low the bar is now, but you know, it is better. Jesus. Okay. Ammo's over here. And there's another one if you wanted grenades and claymores. All right, man. Have a good time. Take a look at the podcast sometime. Appreciate it. What the fuck? Aha! Oops. Oh. Friendlies. Damn. Oh. Okay. It's almost 8. No one's here. That's fine. Away she goes. Hello. Someone just joined. Let's get this set up. I don't want you to notify me for anything. No, don't tell me. What is happening? Why is this? Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, this is just a random bonus episode for Illegitimate Scholar. I'm going to be... Ooh, I gotta do that. Okay, so this is just a bonus extra episode. I'm going to be a couple days on the anthropology religion one because Memphis was just, it was too much going on. From now on, hopefully I'll be better on time, but I'm just going to be... Hopefully from now on I'll be hitting that Monday. I'm sorry, I thought I was going to start hitting it and I haven't, but I don't want to release a bad product. So I'm going to release this tonight and I'm doing it live. I don't know if anyone's actually going to be here, but I'm going to be doing it live. And, this is in addition to Thursday nights, 8 p.m. I do the live show that goes up on the podcast feed the next day. Yeah, subscribe to the Discord down below. Oh, and please, I'm going to start a Patreon. And if there's a feature that you would pay for on Patreon, then please let me know and I will do my best to make that happen. I want to create whatever it is that you guys want. So please let me know in the Discord or through email or Twitter. Those are the best ways to reach me. Really, Twitter or Discord are the best, but if it has to be an email, I will look for them. Okay, I got to find out if I'm live on Twitter. So I don't really know how that works. Oh, I am live on Twitter. Okay. Wait. No. Yeah. Am I? Okay. What's happening? Okay. Should the government increase funding for mental health research and treatment? Um, Geez. I mean, I don't know. The government mental health research, I feel like our culture should be built a better way where people aren't having such severe mental health issues. You know, our mental health issues are increasing so much in the younger generation. And, you know, you can put money into research and medicine and therapists that makes money for the healthcare industry. Or you can look at the underlying culture and you can treat the cause instead of the symptom. You know, and obviously you have to treat the symptoms as well because those are problems. But like, I don't see this. Um, Jesus, I don't know. I'm gonna say no, and I'll put this at least because like I don't want any part of that. Um, God, I mean, the problem I have with this one: should the federal government increase the funding of health care for low-income individuals? Medicaid. So with Medicaid, I really feel like. One second, I'm gonna go trying to go back to Twitter here. Oh, okay. Someone's watching on Twitter. Okay, sorry, I'm figuring out this tech. Okay. Um, so should the federal government increase? I don't have any interaction on Twitter. There's no way to do it. Okay. Oh, there we are. All right. Cool. So people can comment. All right. I'm all over the place. Should the federal government increase funding? Oh, Cleveland. That's the word I say when I need to edit. So I need to edit there. So I'm going to say Cleveland. Should the federal government increase funding of healthcare for low-income individuals? You know, I mean, I would love for them to have more funding, but at the same time, like, we'll say single payer. I'll say less. Healthcare is one that I'm so confused on because it feels like in theory it would be great to have a system that that worked and was like that, but and it looks like some countries have decent healthcare systems that are national healthcare systems, but with America, I see that the way that we've done government healthcare, not Obamacare, but actual government providing the healthcare is the VA, and the VA is bad, and so I have a hard time. So I'm gonna put this at least. Do you support the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act? I mean, yeah, yeah, no, that's nice. Allow consumers to choose providers and import pharmaceuticals from other countries. That one seems good. I'm gonna put that on less. Should the government require employees of large businesses to be vaccinated from COVID? No. Why is this option even here? No, I think businesses should require vaccination, but not by government mandate. But that's not a political stance. I don't like the businesses are going to do what they want. It doesn't matter what you think the businesses should do, unless you plan on using your political power to screw with them. So, no. No, that's more important. They can't, methods of control. I don't know. Oh, can I say this on YouTube? Whatever. If I get kicked off YouTube, I'll just be on Twitter, and I haven't had any problems yet. Should people be required to work in order to receive Medicaid? Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Yeah, whatever. We're going to put this on least. Do you support a single-payer healthcare system? I said yes above, but like, yeah. So let's get rid of the profit incentive, and people will be like, "Oh no, research!" But like, come on, man, we got enough tech. We got enough med tech already. What, you want to live forever? It's crazy, man. We're doing all right. Okay, people live a long time. I think we're good. Should the government fund the WHO? Jeez, I don't know. I don't know. Well, we should be involved in worldly affairs, at least a little bit. Even though I'm obviously against a large amount. I'm somewhat of an isolationist, but we should be a little bit in being. I assume we're giving them too much money, so let's say that, and I'm going to say less. Should the government regulate the prices of life-saving drugs? Jeez, I don't know. I'm not even going to answer that one. I'm allowed to do that. Should the federal government be allowed to negotiate drug prices for Medicaid? Medicare, yes, obviously. They should be able to negotiate drug prices. That seems obvious to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Should funding for local police departments be redirected to social and community-based programs? This is the type of question that they ask, and like some neoliberal white people who grew up in like suburbs where crime was like a couple kids throwing baseballs at an empty abandoned building. No. No. Social and community-based programs are not equipped to deal with the crap that we have in the United States. So I'm good. Let's not. Let's do something else. No. Yes, and abolish the police. Just kidding. We're going to go with no. Obviously, they need more training. Everyone wants to cut the budgets of the police, but that's going to lead to more shootings. You don't want that. It's not good. We're going to leave that on somewhat. Should police departments be allowed to use military-grade equipment? I mean, no, but like, what is military-grade? Because what if someone's got a tank? Look, I love Marvin Heemeyer as much as the next guy, the Killdozer dude, but you got to take care of that guy. You got to take care of that guy. Inside with no one? What's that? What do you mean, Craig? Should police departments be allowed? Yeah, I'm just going to say higher agencies. No, that means the feds. Yeah, I'm going to say yes, because that means the feds won't get it. At least the police departments are decentralized. I'll take that. Do you support qualified immunity for police officers? Man, I don't know enough about this one. I think no. Or maybe yes, but I'm going to put it on least. Because I don't know enough. Let's go more crime. Should convicted criminals have the right to vote? This one I actually care about. I'm going to go with yes. You serve your debt to society. It's important in a society that, you know, you let people pay their debt. And, like, if you're not letting them pay their debt... No wonder we have such a high recidivism rate. Like, even the legal structure of the country and people, employers will treat prisoners the same way, ex-prisoners, ex-convicts, as they might be called, ex-cons. It's not a very nice term, I don't think, even though it just means that they were convicted. But they, like, you know, people don't treat them right. But, you know, you should serve your debt to society, unless you're like, look, if you committed, like, some serious sexual assault, then, like, you know, I want nothing to do with you. But other stuff, it's life circumstances. Yeah, you should be able to get your right to vote back. I mean, you shouldn't be able to vote when you're in the prison. But once you're out of prison, even if you're on parole, I think yeah. I think yeah. Because it shouldn't be up to anybody to arbitrarily decide. I mean, maybe if they have a specific path towards it that they need, but I hope that those would be... No. No, I actually think once you're out, you should be good. You got to. Because if not, someone has the power to decide who can and can't vote, and they're just going to use that to get rid of whatever group harms their votes. Okay. Do you support limiting police unions' collective bargaining power for cases involving misconduct? No. You got to let that stuff go naturally. I get it. People don't like police unions, but people need to have somebody to advocate for themselves. That's why the United States pays for lawyers for people. Yeah. Craig, I agree. If you paid your debt and are free, you should be free to vote. And I agree. And no, so I don't want to limit police unions' collective bargaining power. I don't want to limit any union's collective bargaining power. Should prisons ban the use of solitary confinement for juveniles? I hate this question because I really want to ban... Yes, I want to ban it for juveniles, but I really don't think it should be used on adults that often either. I mean, you know, running prisons, I'm sure sometimes they have to, but the way they do it is a problem. Should nonviolent prisoners be released from jail in order to reduce overcrowding? Look, this is such a... It's such a broad question. I mean, a couple years ago I would have said yes, but it seems like during COVID maybe that wasn't the best. I don't know. Yes, but they must perform community service on a daily basis. How's that going to frickin' work, man? These guys get out of prison, they're usually poor, they have no money, and now you're making them do community service? What are they supposed to do? They got no options. That doesn't make any sense. I don't like that. House arrest? Why? geez, these guys aren't going to be able to get remote jobs usually. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with them. I'm saying that people one of the options is no, we should build more prisons. No, but we should increase funding to offer education and skill building services inside a prison. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of different services inside prisons that, based on certain research that maybe is good research, maybe not, that shows that violent not or prisoners that have access to these resources, I mean, they pay dividends to society down the road in lost like crime, the loss of crimes in the future not being committed, increased people in the workforce. I think that's big. I don't know how much I've talked about this so far, but I'm big on prisoners' rights. I think obviously I'm not I don't love when people commit crimes, but at the same time, I think people in prison get treated pretty poorly for more poorly than they need to be, and you got to pay your debt to society, and once you've done that, I mean, that's your debt. Okay, mandatory minimum prison sentences for people charged with drug possession. Absolutely not. That is ridiculous. Should police officers be required to wear body cameras? Yes. Yes, just wear them. If you don't want to wear them, why don't you want to wear them? That sketches me out. I don't know why you wouldn't want to wear the body cam, because it should exonerate you. Although sometimes I've seen videos where I'm like, yeah, obviously the cop acted right in that situation, and then other people are like, oh my god, it was so bad. So I guess it's not that obvious, but it's better than nothing. I always know how it was. Should the government hire private companies to run prisons? No, the incentives are all screwed up. When you hire a private company to run a prison, they are incentivized to work within the system in order to increase their profits. And increasing their profits means filling up their beds. And it means maybe even lobbying for more police officers, more laws, stricter sentences, because that helps you, because you are making money off of people being in prison. You can't do that. Like, there are a lot of things that the free market can take care of, but that's not one of them. Should drug traffickers receive the death penalty? No. I don't believe in the death penalty at all, so no. Should the U.S. assassinate suspected terrorists in foreign countries? Ugh, that's a tough one. I mean, in theory, I would say yes, but at the same time, in theory, I would say yes, but like, they've been doing that for a long time. The execution has been pretty poor, and they've killed a lot of innocent people, and they've used it way more than I think they should have. They need to be more precise. Like, they're dropping these drone strikes. They're drone striking weddings, drone striking Doctors Without Borders. It's not good. It's not good. I don't like that. That's not cool. Okay. Yes, but only if there's undeniable. I'm not answering this one. I can't. Should the president be able to authorize military force against Al-Qaeda without Congress approval? No. I don't know why Al-Qaeda is still relevant. Should the president mobilize the U.S.? I'm sticking out of this one. I'm going to say no, but I'm going to put it on the least. Should the government increase or decrease military spending? Decrease. Should every 18-year-old citizen be required to provide at least 1 year of military service? So I actually, as far as building a nation, this would, I actually do believe in maybe a year of compulsory service, but not military service. Or military service can be an option. Yeah, so yes, but with less focus on military training and more focus on education and skill development. I don't like the idea of compelling people to do that, but in the effort of like, I see that today in the United States, there isn't a lot of camaraderie between people, and I think in order to kind of save our country, people should be brought into a diverse place. And for like the military, forced to kind of get along with each other. and meet different people and experience other things and build community with other Americans from other parts of the country. And I think that could go a long way to repairing. Yeah, like Peace Corps, Craig. Peace Corps, AmeriCorps, is something that you're doing with other Americans. I think there should be a bunch of different options for different people, and of course exemptions. And the military should be one of these options, but I think that's something that we should definitely do. And I mean, ultimately, it would be something that I would say that I would want someone to really, if they really needed to be able to opt out of. But I would want it to be highly encouraged. So probably just incentivize it incentivize it really heavily rather than, I guess, traditionally do it. I don't know. The specifics, I think that would be a good thing for the country is what I'm saying. Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights? I mean, no, because they're not Americans, but like, I don't know. Sorry, I lost my 1 second. Cleveland. Okay. Foreign policy. Should the U.S. remain in the United Nations? Yeah, we have to stay in the United Nations. It's just not reasonable. It's too big. Got to keep a presence in it. Should the military be allowed to use enhanced? No, they don't work. They don't work, so I don't care. Yeah. Do you support President Obama's move to lift the trade and travel embargo on Cuba? Yes, I do. That's an old question, but yes. Should the U.S. continue to support Israel? No. No. And most. We should not be doing that. Should the U.S. remain in NATO? Yes. Yeah, I mean, we should. I just wish NATO was doing some different stuff. Should the U.S. increase or decrease foreign aid spending? Decrease. Less important. More foreign policy. Should the military fly drones over foreign countries to gain intelligence? I mean, let's say only gather intelligence. Just because of how they've executed the drone strikes in the past. If they were doing some surgical strikes and they were using them very sparingly, I would be down with it. But they do not have a good track record with this. I don't like it. I do not trust them. Should the U.S. defend other NATO countries that maintain low military defense budgets relative to their GDP? I mean, yeah, we should defend them, but like they should pull their freaking weight. And somehow it's like crazy to say that our allies should be pulling their weight, but I think they should be pulling their weight. Yeah. Yeah, but that's true. I mean, ultimately we should ask them to, but we have to incentivize them in a different way. It harms us to not defend a NATO ally. Like NATO, I part of the reason why I really don't like the war in Russia, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, I'm just anti-war in general, or the war in Ukraine, rather, is because it's like I want NATO to have, like, credibility. I want NATO to have a positive reputation and credibility because I think it's very important to the world order. And I think in a time of waning American international power, especially relative to other nations like China, BRICS, basically, it's very important that we have something like that, and it's very important that that is a popular thing. And I think that people are starting to not trust NATO as much, and that's dangerous. I want NATO to be an organization that most Americans and most people in the world can trust. And right now, what's happening it's regardless of how you as an individual feel about it, the result is that people are not feeling great about NATO more so than at other times. So should the United States provide military supplies and funding to Ukraine? No. I mean, I really would like a question that has to do with them negotiating peace, but I'll say no. Let's do more foreign policy. There's so many. Should the U.S. continue NSA surveillance of its allies? Jeez. Should Ukraine? No, I'm not doing these. Should the government pass laws which protect whistleblowers? Yes. Yes. Yes, they should. It's a simple yes. Should there be more restrictions? Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun? No, only for assault weapons. Ridiculous. Absolutely not. No. No. Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun? No, and the government should pass a national stand your ground law. That'd be pretty sweet. That's what I want. Okay. Should teachers be allowed to carry guns at school? Jeez, I don't know if that's a good idea. No. Should be professionals. I don't like it. It probably would be more harm than good, but I think having a professional there is fine. We had a cop at our school, armed. I liked her. She was great. Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? I mean, no. I don't think so. What is your stance on abortion? I'm not answering this. I just don't. Should health insurance providers be required to offer free birth control? No. Should gender identity be added to anti-discrimination laws? No. And also, repeal the Civil Rights Act. Should a business be able to deny services to a customer if the request conflicts with the owner's religious beliefs? Yes. Any reason. Yes. Any business should be able to deny service for any reason. That's very important to me. Cleveland. Do you support the legalization of same-sex marriage? Take the government out of marriage and instead make it a religious decision. Yes. The government should not... Look, I know it seems like a small distinction, but the government should not have a role in marriage at all. And I understand that for the tax designations and the way the world works today, that it makes sense for them to do marriages. But look, same-sex people and opposite-sex couples, just go ahead. You both get a civil union from the government. You get the marriage from the church or from the mosque or the synagogue or whatever. And then, it's a separate thing. Get your marriage certification. Just leave that to the religious. To the religious or the secular, if that's the way that people go with it. I would argue that it's religious regardless if you're doing a religious wedding. If not, just go to the government and get the civil union. But if you're going to do a sort of public ritual ceremony, then it has religious traits to it at the very least. But yeah, take the government out of marriage. It makes no sense that the government is deciding who can have a marriage and who can have a civil union. You should just be doing civil unions. Marriage was always a religious thing. And you didn't used to need to have this separation of it. Okay. Should transgender athletes be allowed to compete against athletes that differ from their assigned sex at birth? No. Sorry. I just hope they start trans sports leagues so that they can play sports, but it's just not fair. There's too much of an advantage in so many sports for male to man to woman transgenders, not female, but trans women. Trans women have too much of an advantage. That's what I'm trying to say. Broke my brain there for a second. Should the federal government institute a mandatory buyback of assault weapons? No. Assault weapons aren't even a real thing, fam. No, let's put it most. Should gay couples have the same adoption rights as straight couples? Yes. Gay couples can be just as bad at parenting as straight couples. I guarantee it. And yeah, that is a joke about how bad people are as parents. Should the federal government require racial sensitivity training for employees? No. And should universities provide trigger warnings and safe spaces for students? Let's go yes. I'm going yes. I'm going yes on the safe spaces. And that's because if universities could just decide, hey, we're going to have safe spaces. And look, trigger warnings. I do trigger warnings because sometimes I talk about some extreme violence, maybe some sexual violence. I'm trigger warnings are fine. Sometimes trigger warnings are when I've seen them made fun of, they're made fun of for something really stupid. But if you're talking about a topic that's potentially like someone has had a traumatic experience with, I think it's totally fine and just a nice thing to do to let people know up front that there is some content in there that you might not like if you're related to this thing. But trigger warnings then turned into like, oh, you need a trigger warning if you're like a white man. Like, but that's not really what it is. But yeah, let's say trigger warnings in safe spaces. And if there's trigger warnings in safe spaces, that means the rest of the space is all cool, you know? If that's where the safe space is, that's where you can be safe. And then outside of that, the ideas might hurt you. So, like, I'm cool with that. If you want to do safe spaces, just let me have the freedom of speech everywhere else. It's kind of ritualize that, make it a specific spot. Okay. Should businesses be required to have women on their board of directors? No, we do not legislate. We do not legislate. Well, I guess we do, but we should not legislate diversity. Doesn't make any sense. As soon as they start the campaign for making white cornerbacks required in the NFL, I think it would make it more interesting. If you took the NFL and you decided that there was like a racial quota system where you had to have a certain amount of different races at different positions, I mean, look, you'd have a system like in soccer where, you know, international and domestic players are treated differently. So man, I mean, they'd be searching out. That would make such an interesting game. Because you'd have to have like, you know, oh, we used up all our black guys on the defensive line. So, oh, what are we gonna do? We gotta put an Asian guy in at safety. Well, yeah, but if you put the Asian guy in at safety, you get 35 diversity points, and that's a lot. And then we get to have a white tight end and a white quarterback. Yeah, and okay, you get what I'm saying, right? Okay. Should states be allowed to display the Confederate flag on government property? Yeah, I don't care that much, but yes. We need more El Salvadorians in the NBA. I think so. I think we do. I think we need less Europeans. They're not even the right whites. You know, I like when I see whites in the NBA, but then I find out they're European, and I'm like, not really. I'm not into it. Yeah, states should be allowed to display the Confederate flag. It's part of their history. It's not for me to say. You know, they do this whole thing where like, oh, women can't say anything about, or men can't say anything about abortion because it's their body. Yeah, well, that's their symbol. Okay, I'm from the North. I'm a Yankee. I'm not going to tell Southern states they can't do that. I don't like that. Should the government support a separation of church and state by removing references to God on money, federal buildings, and national monuments? No, but I don't really care. Do you support the death penalty? No, I do not. The government should not. Some people deserve to die, but the government shouldn't have the right to do it. Because the government's scary, and they make mistakes, and they're bad sometimes. So I don't want them to have that power. I don't want to live in a society where that is a power that they have, I guess. Okay. Should the government require children to be vaccinated for preventable diseases? No. Do you support the use of nuclear energy? Yes. Should producers be required to label genetically engineered foods? Yes. Should the government fund space travel? Yes, but less important. Should the Electoral College be abolished? Absolutely not. Should foreigners currently residing in the United States have the right to vote? No. Is there an option for if they're citizens? No, only legal citizens. Yeah. When you become a citizen, that's when you have a stake in the game. Same reason why there should be an age cap on the government. You should only be able to vote if you've got some skin in the game. Okay? And if you're not a citizen, you have no skin in the game. And I'm sorry, like if you're a resident, you're living here, I think that's crazy. And also, it's people from other countries. These are things that are designed. There are a lot of these things that are designed to give certain people the right to vote. So of course, like people that are Democrats are going to be voting on. Yes, they're going to want foreigners who are in the country that are just residing here, probably working. Of course, they're going to want them to be able to vote because that's going to give the Democrats more votes ultimately, because the people that are working here are generally like international people, which are more likely to vote left wing. So yeah, like all the Canadians And the frickin' Europeans and the Australians and all of those that come here, if they had the chance to vote, they would vote Democrat. So the Democrats support them. It's that simple. It's also why the Democrats want to extend voting rights for other people. It's why the Republicans want to stop certain other things. It's all just based on the parties vying for power. You know, it's fake. They don't care. It's not a real moral thing. It's completely that. One second. Okay. Should a photo ID be required to vote? Yes, guys. Why do people think it's racist for this? It doesn't make any sense. Should there be a limit to the amount of money a candidate can receive from a donor? I don't know. I mean, they probably just find a way around it, but let's say yes. Publicly fund elections? That's interesting. Oh, God. I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to put it on least. Should political candidates be required to release their recent tax returns to the public? I don't know. But I would respect them more. Should the minimum voting age be lowered? No. Raise that shit. Repeal the 19th Amendment. No. Lower the voting age. Ridiculous. Should the minimum voting age be voted? No, it should be raised. Let's do that. Let's go to some more electoral questions. Should a politician who has been formally convicted of a... Yes. This is, again, yeah, you served your time, okay? You want to run for office? Run for office. Should corporations, unions, and nonprofit organizations be allowed to donate to political parties? I mean, yeah... I don't know. This stuff gets confusing because I feel like if you don't allow it, it'll happen anyway, just through the back door, and I don't know if that's worse or better. Should every voter automatically receive a mail-in ballot? No. This is one of those things where it became mail-in ballots became a thing because they helped Democrats. There's peer-reviewed research on the fact that this helped Democrats more, so of course they would support it. Should there be a 5-year ban on White House and congressional officials from becoming lobbyists after they leave the government? Yeah. I mean, they'll just do it in 5 years, but they'll be less effective, ideally. Should foreign lobbyists be allowed to raise money for American elections? No. Not a single one of them. Not the Israelis, not the Brits, not the Saudis. No. Ridiculous. Obviously, they're going to do it anyway. But anybody that's caught with this should be tried with treason and sent to life in prison. And I would say sentenced to death for treason, but I don't believe in the death penalty. So life. Should politicians over 75 years of age have required to pass a mental competency test? That am I crazy or is that written poorly? No, I would prefer term limits instead. I would prefer term limits. It's not going to happen because the people that we need to vote for them are the same people that benefit from it. Should the federal government pay for tuition at four-year colleges and universities? No, we already... Okay, maybe it's the right thing to do to pay for colleges and universities, but people are already getting crap degrees that aren't helping them in the real world, and there's already way too many college graduates. So there's no chance that it's a good idea for the country as a whole to incentivize going to college further. Absolutely not. Should critical race theory be taught in K through 12 education? There is no answer. Okay, the real answer that I want to give is that yes, critical race theory should be taught, but only as one possible theory. This is the key difference. Critical race theory is used as a framework through which everything else is judged. And that's how they're using critical race theory a lot of the times, especially in college. But I think it's totally okay to teach it as one of many theories. But when you look at things through the lens of critical race theory, pretty much everything turns out to be racist. And if that's the way you're viewing it as a framework and not as that just being one possible interpretation, it just destroys everything else. So that's the problem with it. And I really, as a side note, I really do not like when, and this is, I'm interpreting this as them asking it as a framework, because that's generally how it's done, and that's the one I have a problem with. But like, people will equate teaching critical race theory with teaching about racism, and that if you don't want to teach about critical race theory, you're not teaching about racism. But that is 100% not true. You can absolutely teach about racism, and you should, without using critical race theory as a framework. One of these answers is yes, and also add intersectionality in the 1619 project to the curriculum. Do you just hate America? Is that why you do this? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No, kids should be raised to be racially colorblind instead of being taught they're inherently racist. I mean, yeah, but like that's closer to what I think, but I don't think kids should be colorblind. I'm going to say no. I'm just going to say a simple no, and I'm going to leave it at somewhat. Do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loans? I don't know. I'm not answering this. Do you support President Biden's student loan forgiveness program? They don't have an answer that has to do with stopping the fact that student loans can't be forgiven, which is a major problem. Should the federal government fund universal preschool? Yes, through vouchers. No, use a voucher system instead. Okay, yeah. President student loan forgiveness. Yeah, no, we should instead focus on lowering the cost of education. Yeah. Do you support Common Core national standards? I'm going to go with no. State and local level. Yep, state and local. We're going to do all the education. Should the government decriminalize school truancy? Yes, but I don't really care. Do you support charter schools? Yes. 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 Should the government offer students a voucher that they can use to attend a private school? Yes. 100%. Most important. Okay. Should the government add or increase tariffs on products imported into the country? I don't know. I'm not answering it. Should the technology of our financial system transition to a decentralized protocol that is not owned or controlled by any corporation similar to the internet? What the heck? I'm not answering that. I don't know. That's a question? Is that a thing people are talking about? I haven't even considered that. Should the U.S. raise taxes on the rich? Close the loopholes. Lower, where is it? I need something to close the loopholes. Abolish the income tax, disallow sales tax. No, that's regressive. I don't know. It doesn't have any. I'll give it a flat yes, because yes, although I would like it to be more specific. Should the government raise the federal minimum wage? Oh God, I don't know. This one's hard. There's things on both sides. I don't really know what the actual effect of them would be. I'm just not going to answer it because I'm confused. Should employers be required to pay men and women the same salary for the same job? I'm not answering it because they already do. Like, yeah, it's a myth. It's completely a myth. This is one of the craziest things. It's just like, I'm not going to go into it, but like, it's not real. Should the U.S. raise or lower the tax rate for corporations? Lower, but eliminate deductions and loopholes. Okay, make it simple. Do you support a universal basic income? No. Incentive structures all whacked out. Should welfare recipients be tested for drugs? God. No. No. It's more complicated than that, but I don't really know. Do you believe labor unions help or hurt our economy? Overall, I think they help. Not always, of course. Should there be fewer or more restrictions on current welfare? God, I mean, most of the welfare, I'm going to go with fewer just because most of this welfare goes to rich people. I mean, they're giving out all these subsidies and everything, and, you know, we're death of the middle class. I don't know, but also, I'm going to put that on least important. I struggle with things like that because I sometimes think they're more harm than they are good, but also, like, people need help now, so it's like, I don't know. Should the government increase the tax rate on profits earned from the sale? No. But that's just a personal benefit to me. You know? Gotta go for myself sometimes. Should the government make cuts to public spending in order to reduce the national debt? I mean, probably. Yes, and eliminate federal agencies that are unconstitutional. Hell yeah, brother. Let's do that. Should businesses be required to provide paid leave for full-time employees during the birth of a child or a sick family member? Yeah, this is one of those like left-wing cultural things that I think should be promoted in our society, and this is why I'm not quite a libertarian, because I very much side with this. And once we get to the parties that I'm looking at, we'll see, we'll see the evidence of that. Okay, should businesses be required to provide paid leave? Oh yeah. I'm gonna go with yes. I don't know how they would implement that, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. But current estate tax, no. The estate tax is what? It's only over 11 million, I think. I could be wrong about that, but with the knowledge that it's that, I think no, it doesn't need to be decreased because it's like it's over 11 million, so like it's okay to take some of that. There needs to be some sort of redistribution from that much. So should the government use economic stimulus to aid the country during times of recession? Gosh, I don't know. I don't know because they've screwed up at doing it so many times. So I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna lower it. Okay, I'm done with that. If found guilty, should former President Trump be pardoned for mishandling classified documents? That's going to be a yes and a most because that's ridiculous. One of the documents that he released, he was kind of whistleblowing on them trying to go to war with Iran, and that's so freaking important. And I don't know, dude. They do this, they do stuff all the time. I'm just not comfortable putting a former president in jail, like a political opponent. It scares me. It's anti-democratic. I don't really believe in democracy that much, but it's definitely anti-democratic. It freaks me out that people don't see that. Should the U.S. build a wall along the southern border? High-tech surveillance, yes, and Mexico should pay for it. Just kidding. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Should illegal immigrants have access to government-subsidized health care? Gosh. I mean, yeah, just because you can't... I'm going to put it on lease. You can't deny people like life-saving health care. There should be other incentive-based ways to not have people in the country, but if they're here, I mean, people need to be taken care of, and we have the resources to do it for now, till they keep screwing us up more. Should undocumented immigrants be offered in-state tuition rates at public colleges within their residing state? No, but I'm going to put it on least. I don't want to do the immigration ones. Should homeless individuals that have refused available shelter of or housing be allowed to sleep or encamp on public property? Yeah. What, they don't want to sleep in your freaking dirty ass government social worker infested crap place where they're probably going to get stabbed, so they just want to camp in a public park? Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you know, as long as I'm not thinking about like, oh, they're probably thinking about like the street. I don't know. That's all right. Should researchers be allowed to use animals in testing the safety of drugs, vaccines, medical devices, and cosmetics? Okay, not cosmetics. Yes, but not for cosmetics. Okay. Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? No. Is it not doing it in the right place? Should the U.S. withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement? Yes, that stuff doesn't work. Should government increase spending on public transportation? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the problem is that stuff's mostly local. Okay, maybe I'll do a couple more environmental. Should disposable products that contain less than 50% of biodegradable material be banned? I don't know anything about manufacturing. Absolutely not am I going to say that. That seems completely arbitrary. Some politicians said 50%, and now, like, freaking... now the materials engineers have to work out how to meet this totally random thing that some lawyer lawmaker made because it sounded good to say 50%. No, I'm not standing for that. That's ridiculous. This is like when an architect designs a building that the civil engineer is like, yeah, I can't build that. And they're like, oh, come on. No. Should the U.S. expand offshore oil drilling? Yeah. I'm going to put it on least because I feel bad, but yeah. Should drilling be allowed in the Alaska Wildlife Refuge? No, we're going to need that. We're going to need that in the future. Should the government stop construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline? I'm not answering these. I'm not answering those. I don't care. Okay. I don't know. Chairman of the SEC. Did I miss something when I was in Memphis for a week? Why is there a new chairman of the SEC? Or is that not? Okay. Oh. Oh, no, no, no. This is just for then. Okay. Whom would I like most to run for president? Vivek. I don't know. Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump out of these. Just because he got arrested. I mean, that's really it for me. Just literally because he got arrested. How? What? Random interesting questions that help gauge public opinion over time. Okay. How would you describe your likelihood of playing video games too often compared to a year ago? Lower. What do you expect your likelihood of playing video games too often to be in a year from now? Same. How would you rate this country's relationship with Mexico compared to a year ago? Same. I think we were cool with Mexico a year ago. We're cool with them now, as far as I can tell. What do you expect this country's relationship? Why does it say this country instead of America or USA? USA. USA. What do you expect this country's relationship with Mexico to be in a year from now? The same. How would you describe your general opinion of pharmacists in this country a year ago? It just keeps going down. What do you expect your general opinion of pharmacists? I don't know, dude. These are weird questions. Political leadership in your city? I don't know. Which candidates are most important? Which qualities are most important to you in a candidate? Let's say, is there pragmatism somewhere? I mean, the word leadership is so... morality, determination, integrity, common sense. I'll give you that one. I want some common sense. And when I say common sense, I mean, maybe don't kill farmers to save the environment when the richest people in the country are flying private jets. Anyone got any questions before I go on to this next thing? Consistency is what I want as well. And effectiveness. Okay, I did a lot. Let's show my results. Anyone surprised by any of those answers that I gave? Anyone hate me now? Think I'm evil? Oh. Now this is interesting. I have become more right wing. That seems almost natural. Okay. Interesting. See, I think before I was closer to the American Solidarity Party, which is the Christian party. I wonder why that is. Let me go to my ballot. Okay, Hornberger, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley. Vivek is up there. Larry Elder, Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, Doug Burgum, Mike Rogers, Asa Hutchinson. I don't know who a lot of these people are. Perry Johnson, Steve Laffey, Ryan Binkley, Donald Trump, Chris Christie, Robert Kennedy Jr., Joe Biden, and Marianne Williamson coming in at 31%, Joe Biden at 41%, and for whatever reason, Jacob Hornberger, who's the Libertarian, 87%, and then Tim Scott, 84%. Okay. Let's look at this part too. Okay, so Constitution Party. All right. I like that. I'm into that. Sorry. That. Okay. Well, I'm surprised. Oh, wow. There were a lot more questions. Let's do some more domestic policy, I guess. No, you should not be allowed to sue firearms dealers and manufacturers. That's ridiculous. Are you in favor of decriminalizing drug use? Yeah. Should the Supreme Court be reformed to include more seats and term limits? No, dude, no. You can't change something like that. These are the checks and balances. You got to leave these things how they are. Do I support affirmative action programs? No. Should the people on the no-fly list be banned from purchasing guns and ammunition? No, absolutely not. There's no due process on the no-fly list. You can't ban people from their constitutional right. That's ridiculous. Should it be illegal to burn the American flag? No. First Amendment. Do you support the Patriot Act? No. Should the redrawing of... I don't care. Immunity to Edward Snowden? Yes. Members of Congress? No, you should not be allowed. Yeah. No, absolutely not. Should local police increase surveillance and patrol of Muslim neighborhoods? What year do you think it is, dude? Come on. Let's see. That didn't change it very much. Oh, it did put American solidarity up. I wonder why. There were a lot more economic, so I'm going to do some more of those as well. And social. Let's see, social. Did I not answer any of these? Oh. Oh my god, I didn't do any of these. Okay. Stance on abortion. I am pro-choice. I don't agree, but the government has no right to ban it. That's where I'm at. Should the government allow women to serve in combat roles? No, but they're going to, so whatever. Should people under the age of 18 be able to receive gender transmission treatments? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, not for the children under 18. Should hate speech be protected by the First Amendment? Yeah, what's hate speech, dude? Come on. Gotta protect First Amendment. You can't threaten somebody, but hate speech is just mean words. Should schools be allowed to require mandatory diversity training for teachers and faculty? No. Okay. Should companies be... Well, yeah, the company can do whatever it wants. Should schools be allowed to require... No. Not a public school. No. Not a public school. It's ridiculous. Should marital rape... Oh, I'm not answering that. Should women be allowed to wear a niqab? To face veil to civic ceremony? Yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, you can wear your clothes to civil ceremony. Civic... What the heck? Why would that even be a thing? I'm missing something here. Do people really think you shouldn't be able to wear a niqab to civic ceremonies? I guess that's the thing they do in France, but they're like explicitly secular in France. They're like, you can't have religion at all. That's not what we do here. It's not like that. Okay, that didn't change anything. I'm going to do some economic. In-state tax applied to online purchases? No, but I don't care. Should the federal government raise the minimum wage? No, but I don't know. Should the government break up? Yes, break them up. Should the government break up Amazon, Facebook, and Google? Yeah, they should break up all of those things, please. Should the government require businesses to pay salaried employees making up to $46K a year, time and a half? Yes. Should U.S. citizens be allowed to save or invest money in offshore bank accounts? Yes. Should the U.S. continue to participate? Yeah. In NAFTA is the question. I gotta stop cutting off before I finish reading the question. Should the government offer tax breaks to individual companies to keep jobs in the U.S.? Yeah, but they'll probably screw up the execution. Should the United States transition to a 4-day work week? Like, that's a private business decision. I don't understand. Should the government acquire equity stakes in companies it bails out during a recession? I mean, yeah, but, like, that's weird because then they own it. I'm going to put it on lease just because, like, they should get something for bailing out the companies. But, like, I don't like the situation where the government is owning companies. I guess they do in like pension funds and everything. I don't know. Would you favor an increased sales tax in order to reduce property taxes? Yeah. Yeah. I live in an area with some tourists, a state with some tourists, so, you know, the sales tax would help that. And I think people would think that that would harm poor people more, but I don't think it does because the property tax just trickles right down to their increased rent if they don't own a home. Should the government ban the surcharge? Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be government doing something terrific. Should the government ban surcharge tacked onto concert tickets, cable bills, banking services, hotel bookings, and other purchases? You go there, you think you're going to spend $35, They add 15 different fees and you owe 48, and it's ridiculous. Don't like it. Should online payment platforms be forced to report all transactions over $600 to the IRS? There is no option that says no and abolish the IRS. But no. Should the Federal Reserve Bank be audited by Congress? Yes, but it would be best, but I would prefer to abolish it and return it to the gold standard. That's what we're doing. Okay, show my results. Now we're here. This is the one I'm sticking with. Okay, that makes more sense, I think. Okay. 80% Constitution, 80% Libertarian, 69% Republican, 61% American Solidarity. Let's look at my ballot here. See who's number one now. Still Jacob Hornberger. Ron DeSantis is number 2. Uh-oh. Don't like that. Yeah. Yeah, wow, I really hate Connecticut politics. I don't agree with any of these Democrats that rule over me. Yeah, they really screwed me, huh? I shouldn't live here. These people don't represent me. Okay. So my parties. Do you support the... Oh, no, I'm skipping these. Okay, so domestic policy. On domestic policy, I agree most with the Libertarians. On education, I agree with the Libertarians, Constitution, the GOP. That makes perfect sense. Elections, the GOP, and so I'm conservative on elections. Libertarian, more libertarian, slightly less conservative on social. On science, I'm with the Democrats. That's weird. On science, I'm with the Democrats and the American Solidarity Party and the Constitution Party, but not the GOP. I don't know how that happened. I guess only 4 questions. Science. Whatever. Crime. I just agree with everybody on crime. They all agree with each other. Is that what's happening? You guys seeing this? Anyone listening to me right now? There's 4 of you watching, but oh, if you're watching this, can you like it, please? I would appreciate that. If you could like the YouTube thing, that's nice when that happens. Cleveland. The economy, I agree loosely with the what is that? That's the Constitution Party and the American Solidarity Party. See, that's weird. Is the Constitution Party like more left on economy? No, because these guys are over here. Foreign policy, I agree with the socialists and the libertarians. Oh, because they're isolationist. Okay. Strongly disagree with both the Democrats and the GOP. I wonder why. For the environment, I'm with the libertarians. I'm with the conservatives. Transportation, it was just one question, but I'm with the lefties on that one. Housing, I'm with the lefties, but that's based on one question. Healthcare, I'm with the American Solidarity Party. The Dems and the Republicans, they all hate giving Americans healthcare. Immigration, I'm on the conservative side, I guess. National security, I am with the lefties. The GOP is the only one. Probably because they want to fight in war. Between secular and religious, I'm in the middle. Between decentralization and centralization, I'm in the extreme. That makes sense. Between meritocracy and democracy, I'm towards meritocracy with the libertarians and the conservatives. Assimilation versus multiculturalism, I'm slightly towards assimilation. Towards the socially conservative American Solidarity Party, as well as the Constitution and the GOP. That makes sense as well. And under ideologies, wow, there I am. just right next to the libertarians. I definitely do not normally think of myself as being that close to the libertarians. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. I took the whole test. Uh, and I'm done. Any questions before I go? Anybody? Craig, you still there? Everybody just bailed off at the same time, which is totally fine.